going on YouTube, and it is your boy DD Kills, and we're doing something completely different and something I haven't done before, but I'm trying new stuff to see what actually I could do more of on my channel to gain probably more views and engage more with the community and all my subscribers, and see what I could do and that I'm good at, that I could actually talk about. So on top of my head, I'm going to be saying everything that I know, and as you can read from the title up there, it is why, well, should you have a subwoofer? So basically what a subwoofer is basically a box that goes in your, well, if you're in America it's called a trunk, or if you're in England or whatever, Europe, then it's called a boot of your car. So that's the thing at the back of the car, or some cars will be at the front, and it's this big box. It could be 10 inch, 8 inch, 12 inch, 15 inch and 18 inch from what I know, and it's a box with a circle, and that circle, whenever you're playing music and the bass kicks in or the bass drops, or you know there's a bass, then that circle's actually going to go in and out, so you feel it. So basically it gives off vibration. That's what a subwoofer is. So in other words, it gives you the more bass. So when you go to the clubs and when you go to like any parties and stuff, and you think, damn, that has got a lot of bass, or if you're on the streets and you hear a car and then you're thinking, why has it got bass? That sounds good. It's called a subwoofer. And if you're in a party or a club, it's called a speaker, but it's got a subwoofer built in. So there are pros and cons, so that's what this video is going to be about. And regardless of what like I get in this video, I'm actually gonna make a video in time on how to set up a subwoofer in a car, but I won't be showing the wiring and stuff, but I will show you in the car how to do it, where to go and all of that stuff. So that'll be in a later video when I feel a bit better. But let's start with the might as well start with the cons, you know. So there are a few issues. Well, I say there are more issues than pros personally, but if you're like me, and I'm not trying to brag, and you know a lot about cars and audio and stuff like that, then you got nothing to worry about at all. So one of the first cons, and the most common sense one, is it's going to use more fuel. I mean, an example is with my first car, before I had a subwoofer, I used to do like 300 miles with about £50 petrol on V-Power as well. But then when I put the subwoofer in, the petrol consumption just, wow, it's just, with the same amount of money, same fuel, same company, same place, everything the same, I only got out 235 miles if I was lucky. 235. So that's dropped by 65 miles, and 65 miles could get you from here to like flipping, I don't know, but it could get you more than 45 miles easily. So that's a main factor that you gotta bear in mind, that it will make you lose fuel. Another thing is it kind of counts as a con, even though it's really stupid, but it is actually so noisy, and that's the second con we got there. It can actually be noisy, so you could be driving, chilling down, it's like, I don't know, 2 AM or something. If you got it too loud, then you're actually breaking a law, because the law is before 10:30 you can't even beep your horn because of the noise. So, and if you have a house party or something and a neighbor complains about the sound, you can actually get done for it. So by being too noisy, you could get done for it, and you don't want to, well, unless you hate your neighbors, you can wake them up like, hey. But by waking up your neighbors, they're gonna be pissed. I'll be pissed if that was me. I'd get pissed because I live on a busy street, right? I get frustrated when I see people just rolling down on their cars like, yeah, I'm a gangster, let me listen to that tune, blood. Nah, you're not thinking about the other people. Seriously, I've got a sub in my car, hence why I'm making this video, but at certain times I actually make the volume low. Plus I want peace and quiet myself. I don't want a headache before I go to bed. Another con, the third con, is that if you do not set it up right, and that means the equalization from the car stereo or the wiring itself, if you haven't ran the power wire separate from the RCA cables, for example, then you're going to get some sort of interference which could cause distortion in your car. That is the most annoying thing. That happened to me with my first car, and I didn't know why until I figured out, power wire and RCA need to run them separately. So power wire has to go down through the door panel. RCA, I'll just do it from the car front, near the stereo, near the handbrake, run it all through. More difficult job, but get a better sound. So the distortions, that it makes like a hissing or crackling noise, and that is so annoying. It's like a wasp that's constantly in your ears. It sucks. And if you got passenger or people sitting at the back, then that's even worse, because they keep hearing it. Then you got to make an excuse like, oh, it's just a tune. But then like, when the next tune comes on, it's just, yeah. Another thing, if you have an older car, so when I say older, I mean if your car's panels, like the door panels or the back panels, are made out of plastic. So we're like talking like Vauxhall Corsa C, my first car, those panels are made out of plastic. So cars like that, if they are made out of plastic and the bass kicks in, depending on how you set it up, the whole panel is gonna shake like vigorously. It will shake and it'll sound crap, because inside the plastic, I know a lot about cars because my dad has a garage, blah blah blah, and I've opened up my own door panel to fit speakers. Inside you actually have different little wires and compartments and stuff where the speaker goes. Then you got the window regulator and stuff which will shake inside. So that plastic is actually protecting all of that. So when the bass kicks in, you're actually putting pressure on the panel, making it vibrate, and whatever you got inside will actually shake as well, like your window and everything like that. So that's one thing to bear in mind. And if you have never wired a car sub before, don't even think about doing it. If you do it, and that's the fourth reason, if you do it and your car sets a light, it's your own fault, you don't know how to do it. That can happen, and I'll tell you why. If you run a power wire and it's loose from either the battery or from the back, or if your ground wire is touching a metal chassis of your car, so that's anything that's metal, then you're gonna have a fire starting, and that fire will cause an explosion at worst case scenarios. But in the most common cases, you would just get a casual fire, and it's not great. I'll give you an example actually. With my car that I done recently, never listen to your older brother, by the way. I thought, alright, cool, I don't have a ground wire, but PS guys, pay that £10 extra to get a nice ground quality wire, right? What he told me to do, use a speaker wire as a ground wire. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, same thing. I was like, okay, cool. This is when I was quite new, I didn't really know. Now hear me out, if I didn't check my car because the sub stopped working, my car would have gone by now. But thankfully the sub actually stopped working, and I was thinking why. I looked at every wire, it looked fine, but then I look at the ground wire. Look at that. Look, can you, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but it's melted. Can you see the black? It's burnt and stuff. It's melted. This is how a wire is meant to look. Clean, right? This one here, clean. Not ending up like this. And it smells burnt, everything. So that's something you gotta be aware of. Other stuff is, it's gonna take up a lot of boot room, which could be an advantage. Like for me, it's an advantage. That way I don't have to go shopping. And you know what Indians are like, you gotta go shopping there, Asda, Tesco, when it sells on family products, man. But yeah, it could be an advantage and disadvantage, depends how you look at it. And if something stops working, then it could be difficult to find what, but if you're experienced, then it can be easy. But then again, it will be hard, because you'll be trying to trace where's it not working, and then you gotta get like the voltmeter and is the voltmeter? I don't know, one of those tester things to find out what the hell is going on. But I don't know, not too sure. Another thing, it will be expensive. Boy, I'm telling you now, my whole car setup is like, I got 2 new door speakers, and I added 2 rear speakers, and then I added 2 more 6x9s. Then I had to buy an amplifier, then I bought a car sub, then got tweeters, then you got to buy the wiring kit, and it cost, because I wanted the best one, so I got Vibe in my country, and that cost a lot of money. We're talking over easy 500 quid, easy. But I love my music, I love my sound, I love my bass. For me, it's worth it, but for many of you guys out there, it's not really beneficial for you, and financially and everything, it's not. And then another reason, if you don't have enough money to get something called a power capacitor, then on some cars like a Vauxhalls, mainly Vauxhalls, and Renaults and VWs, Polos, not Golf, Polo, when the bass note kicks in and it's a hard note, or if your volume on your stereo is loud with the bass, then your headlights can dim. So whenever the bass kicks in, your headlights dim, and you see it from the dashboard, it dims. That could be annoying. That just means that the alternator is draining more power. The alternator is draining more power from the battery, which means the battery is not getting enough time to recharge because the alternator doesn't have enough to give. So yeah, it's a bit of car logic there. And now let's get on to the beautiful pros. Now the main pro is that obviously it's got good sound quality, what everyone wants in a car stereo. Gives you everything that you want, especially if you're a music or audio guy like me. You really want to get what you're paying for, then you're getting a good quality there. If you know how to do it, so someone like me, I know how to do it, someone like my brother knows how to do it, that's how I learned, then it'll be easy to follow, so it won't be difficult. But if you're new, it will be difficult, and I advise you do not even try to do it on your own. This is a little cheeky one. If you're driving by the street and you see a fit girl on the side, you can blast out your music, lay back, lay back, get the shades, and then you just be cruising like that or like that, bop into the beat, and it'll be like gangster stuff, so it's a little bit of a joke there, but you might want to impress a girl, you never know. You could actually show off with it, which is a common one that everyone does, I guess. Everyone just likes showing off with it. And believe it or not, you can actually enter car competitions with this. So when I say car competitions, I mean like in terms of audio, like music and stuff. People actually got that going on. You go to certain parts and stuff, you pay an entry, and if you win, then you get a lot of money or you win a prize and stuff. It's really cool. It's interesting. But there's one thing I did forget. As a con, there's a lot of wires that you need to know, and this little thing is just all the wires that I'll show you. So then technically, well, this was meant to be a ground wire, but ignore that. I think I got another one. If you're running a amp and a subwoofer, so when I say a subwoofer, so we're talking about a built-in subwoofer with a built-in amp, and a separate amplifier to amplify your speakers, then you're going to need this, which is called a distributor, and this is fused in. So it's got 4 fuses. That basically means you put the power wire from your battery into here, then you get 4 little slots out here that goes to your amp and your subwoofer. Then obviously you're going to need the crimping terminals, otherwise you will never get your job done. So that's for the connections to make peace and for it to actually work. And then you got something called a power wire, which is this little bad boy over here. That's the power wire. Thick red cable which must not touch anything. And then with the power wire, you normally near the battery of your car you connect this. This is called a fuse, and there's a fuse that is already in there, and it's an AGL fuse if I'm correct. 60 amp on this one specifically, so the power wire goes there. From the battery to this, and on the other side, so basically you got to cut the wire. One goes to the battery, one goes into that, then the other side goes from that into the car sub. So then that's something you got to bear in mind. Then you need something called a remote wire, which is the blue one. In many cases it's a blue really thin one, and as you can get them about 5 meters should be enough, and that goes from the back of your head unit. You have a blue and white wire in many cases, or just a solid blue cable. That's called a remote wire, and if your car doesn't have it, you use an ignition source, so you're talking like a fuse. So whenever you put the ignition on your car, so like a car radio fuse, and so you got to spur it. If you don't have this blue and white, you spur it to the fuse. So spur means you attach it to the fuse, so you locate that fuse, so whenever you put the ignition on the car, then your sub would turn on, which makes it, it's just long, but hopefully your stereo must have a blue and white or blue cable coming out from there. And then this is what you call ground. Look at the difference. It's thick. This is a 4 gauge, no, 8 gauge. 8 gauge means the thickness, right? Power wire was also 8 gauge. No, 4 gauge. Power wire is 4 gauge. This is 8 gauge. But look at the difference. It's more thick. It's more solid. use it. Trust me, guys. Just use it. And then you basically have an RCA cable, which I don't have on me. An RCA cable is basically a red, and then you got a white, and it's a two thing. When I say two thing, two wires, and it goes down. So the input's red and white, the output is red and white, and it's like a little thing that goes into, let's say, a stereo jack or something. You just plug it in like an aux cord, like that. Not in the aux cord is a little thing that one plug, one out. This way you put two in, two out. That's it. And then if you're adding tweeters and stuff like that, I might as well. This is called a tweeter. This is a vibe tweeter. Vibe tweeter. It's my spare one. And yeah, those tweeters connect to a crossover box that you have in your car. If not, you gotta spur it and reattach it to a speaker wire. But yeah, this is just pros and cons and a bit of a tutorial on, well, a bit of advice on what is what in a car subwoofer. And yeah, these are all my just spare bits and pieces I've got when I do them. I do it as a hobby, sometimes as a profession and stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's really it, guys. If I will make one in the future, but all I need is rate, comment, subscribe, and obviously for you to share. Peace out.